So which one would I choose between these if I had to? It's hard because they both look really good. I feel like the green is a little less common out in the wild, which was honestly the reason why I got the Sierra Blue in the first place. So I think actually I might pick the green at this point. Hey, it's Chris. Got my hands on a new green iPhone 13 and 13 Pro, so we're gonna check them out. I'm also gonna show you how they pair with this green aluminum Apple Watch Series 7, including with the leather link band here. Because I know somebody out there is curious, how do they pair together, these different greens, and also how much does it cost if you're trying to get matching stuff? And then we're also gonna compare the colors to other iPhone 13 models that I've had come through the office. And then at the end, I'm gonna give you like a mini review of what life has been like for the last 6 months. Call it a 6-month mini review with the iPhone 13 Pro. This phone and I have been through some things together. Okay, so what do you need to know about these new green iPhone 13s? Well, Apple being Apple, they decided, hey, it's been 6 months since we came out with the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro. How are we gonna spice things up? Well, let's release some new colors. This is the new green iPhone 13. That's what it's called, just green. It's a deep green, it's a dark green, that's for sure. And this right here is the new iPhone 13 Pro green. And this one actually gets a name. It's Alpine Green, which I guess sounds a little more sophisticated. So Apple's making a big deal about it. They came out with this whole crazy ad with all this animation, makes it look like a green dragon. It's very ferocious. And admittedly, it's a nice looking ad. It does kind of hype you up. And then you're like, well, wait, it's really just a new color. But if you're just buying right now, like if this is the time for you to buy, then it makes sense to consider the new colorway. But other than the new color options, there's really not any major new features. Still features the A15 Bionic for the chip, which is still really great. They still feature Apple's latest camera systems. They both have really great battery life that's much improved over previous iPhones. And we've got some 5G. Which color do you like the best? For me, honestly, I do like the 13 Pro's Alpine Green the best out of these two, hands down. What's kind of funny is the back of the 13 shows all kinds of fingerprints, and the back of the Pro doesn't because it has more of this matte finish. But then you look at the sides and the Pro shows all kinds of fingerprints on the side and the regular 13 doesn't because it kind of flipped. This one's matte and this one's all shiny. I know that is such a small detail. I can't imagine anyone really caring all that much. There are definitely some other slight differences. The camera bumps, for instance. The camera bump on the 13 is a little more opaque almost, and it's a little more transparent on the 13 Pro, the glass. And honestly, it's crazy how much attention to detail Apple pays because even the sides of the camera bumps are green as well. Now this is the regular 13. I just want to point out, can you see a little bit of that green on the edge there? Yeah, when you're looking at it straight on, you can notice that pop of color a little bit. And this is the 13 Pro, and all you can see is this shiny silver kind of going around the edge here. Of course, we've got some different wallpapers here as well. This is the 13, this is the 13 Pro. So here's what those lock screens actually look like with the wallpaper. And I wonder if you can notice the screen flicker here. You don't see it over here because of the difference in displays. Now in this video, we're mostly talking about the colors, but I just want to point out, because I noticed it in this camera angle, there's a bit of a difference in the screen flicker on the regular 13 versus the Pro. And you're not gonna see that in real life, but the reason that that's picking up on the camera is because this has a higher refresh rate than the 13. And real quick too, I just want to show you what the official Apple silicone cases look like on the 13 Pro and the 13 here. They're really effectively the same in terms of the material and protection, but the main difference really comes down to the size of the camera hole cutout. It's a little bit bigger on the 13 Pro because it's got 3 cameras. And then obviously these are MagSafe compatible, so if you want to slap on the MagSafe charger, for instance, which is so satisfying to do, and then you get this great animation, and because it's a battery related, that's also green. But there you go, fully decked out. That's really not a bad look, is it? All right, so let's talk about how these new green iPhones pair with the green Apple Watch Series 7 and this green leather link band, which I love. Let me preface this by saying that when the green Apple Watch came out, I was like, I don't think I'm really interested in it. You know, green, it's not really my color. And then Apple sent me this review unit and I realized, you know what? That green is pretty subtle. It's not at all what I expected. In real life, it was so much different than what I saw on screen. It almost looks so dark that it's black unless you look really close. So long story short, I've actually ended up really liking this green color. Also, green is the contour watch face, which was new this year with watchOS. It's green to match, and yeah, it looks really cool too. Doesn't show a whole lot of information, That's too bad, but aesthetically, really nice and also fun. Now, if you're in the market for some new Apple gear, have you ever wondered what it would cost if you wanted to get a matching iPhone and Apple Watch in terms of the colors? Let's break that down real quick. And it's not just for green, obviously this will work for all the different colors. All right, so for a base entry-level iPhone 13 in any color, including the green, you're looking at $699. Now, add that to a $399 price tag for the base entry-level small version of the Apple Watch Series 7, and that's gonna cost you $1,100 in total. Now that goes up to $999 for the base entry-level model of the 13 Pro, and then $479 for the base green Apple Watch Series 7 here with this insanely nice leather link band. All right, so the total for this combination here would be more like $1,478. So basically, if you're trying to match all your everyday carry gear, you're really looking at between $1,100 and $1,500, somewhere in that neighborhood. Pricey. Oh, and real quick, if you're liking the vibe of this video, let me just give you a little reminder. Why not hit subscribe? Lots of great Apple content coming out all the time. Don't want you to miss it. And plus, it would bring a smile to my face. Did you hit it yet? There we go. Thanks. All right, so let's talk iPhone colors. Now that we've got two new green options, I've had several of the iPhones here through the office, through the studio. I've got some thoughts that might help you decide the perfect color for yourself. So the regular iPhone 13 comes in 6 finishes this year: red, starlight, midnight, blue, pink, and then this new green. Just in case the other iPhone colors weren't doing it for you, now you got this new green option. Now, I don't happen to have all the iPhone colors in the studio right now, but you do see I've got the blue. So here's the blue and the green iPhone 13s. And just for some added contrast here, here's how that blue compares to the Sierra blue on the 13 Pro. You know, personally, the blue on this regular 13, it's not my favorite blue. I don't know why. It just seems a little bit less cheerful than it could be. I'm a happy dude. I like positivity, and this one is just sort of like muted. Now, personally, I always tend to like the light and dark iPhone options, the classics. They kind of never go out of style. And if you're a subscriber, you know I went hands-on with the light and dark iPhone 12s, and I really liked them. But it's almost like the light and the dark, they're almost too expected, not unusual. Now, I haven't personally experienced this year's red, but the red iPhone 12 was absolutely insane. I really didn't think I'd like it for daily use, and then I went hands-on with it, and I ended up really liking it. That product red, it just sang. It was so nice. Now, Apple's Starlight color, if you're unfamiliar with it, is kind of a cross between silver and gold, and depending how the light hits it, it kind of comes off as champagne-y, as you can see in this iPad demonstration of Starlight color iPad. And it's a nice color too. It's just really straightforward as well, not really unexpected. Now, I haven't seen the pink, but once again, here is that new green for the iPhone 13. Now, the 13 Pro comes in 5 finishes. There's Sierra blue, graphite, gold, silver, and the new Alpine Green, which obviously looks nice. This is the new 6-month color for the 13 Pro. Now, it's just a thing with the Pros versus the regulars. The Pros tend to be a little bit more subtle. So the non-Pros are definitely more saturated, a little punchier, while the Pros really don't scream at you. I think what Apple really wants you to notice about the Pros is not the color, but the performance. So the Sierra Blue was a new color this year for the Pros, and this Alpine Green is obviously new now that we're at the 6-month mark. So which one would I choose between these if I had to? Man, it's hard because they both look really good. I feel like the green is a little less common out in the wild, which was honestly the reason why I got the Sierra Blue in the first place. So I think actually I might pick the green at this point. All right, so now that I've lived with the iPhone 13 Pro for about 6 months, let me hit you with a little mini review. And let's just start by talking about the A15 Bionic here, the processor. And here's the thing, even now, I've never run into a situation where I'm like, you know what? I really wish that I had more power. This thing's just not fast enough. You know, the A15 Bionic launches everything really fast. It basically ends up giving me a bunch of overhead for the future. So Apple's gonna come out with new hardware and new processors, and new apps are gonna come out to take advantage of those new capabilities. And this A15 Bionic's gonna keep hanging in there year after year for several years to come and not slow down. So that's a big benefit. So great for the future, not really noticing it now, which is a good thing. So what about the camera system? Got these 3 nice cameras on here. Well, obviously I end up using the regular wide camera the most. It's the default, and honestly, it really fits most situations the best. That said, I really like having the option of the telephoto and of the ultra wide, which I use less, just like I use the macro option less, but these things are nice to haves. Not must haves, but nice to haves for most people, maybe not for pros. But the way I look at this 3 camera system is that I'm pretty much covered in all edge case scenarios. So I'm kind of prepared for anything or everything that might come my way, and that's pretty cool. And I'm gonna be honest, I never use the cinematic video mode. that's ended up feeling like more of a gimmick to me that I really don't think Apple should have launched. And not because I don't like the idea. In practice, in reality, it just doesn't work good enough. And I'll be honest, I wish the telephoto was more of a periscopic zoom and could do something like 10 or 20 times zoom that was usable. I think that's gonna be coming in a future iPhone, but that's a bit of a disappointment. Not, again, something that I'm gonna live or die by having or not, but you know, I wish it was there. One thing I love is the sensor, how it handles low light situations, obviously for photos, but also in particular for videos. I mean, I can shoot in a very dark room without a lot of grain or noise, better than some of my other cameras, like point and shoot cameras that I got laying around that used to be pretty decent. And that means I can actually use it in professional scenarios. Sometimes I set it up as an extra camera with Filmic Pro, and just, it's amazing. I love it. And that definitely has made it professionally valuable to me as a content creator. 120 hertz refresh rate has felt like a luxury, not a necessity either, but you know, that's the definition of luxury. It's really nice. That said, when I'm using a non 120 hertz iPhone, it's not like my life gets miserable or worse, but that's what I would say. It is a nice thing to just have around. Have I needed up to 1 terabyte of storage? No. But I do shoot a lot of really high quality video, for instance, and so I needed some headroom there, so I upgraded more than the base level for sure, but I'm not doing a lot of ProRes shooting, honestly. But the last really important thing I just want to mention is the battery has been great. I love getting away with the smallest, most powerful device that I can without sacrificing performance, which this has really let me do. But even so, it's not the Pro Max, and that means as a power user, a power user's power user, I do have to slap on the extra battery pack, maybe like once a week on a day with lots of actually heavy usage, or more accurately, probably too much gaming. But this duo here has worked out really good for me, and I made a whole video about the MagSafe battery pack that you should check out if you're interested in why I like it when it seems like almost everyone else seems to hate it. I'll link it up down below. Now, one thing Apple talks about in the marketing is that this is a really durable phone. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't let it impress me with its durability because I slapped a screen protector on there. I slapped a really nice thin case. I made a video about those, which I'll also link up for you instead of rehashing everything here. And usually I hate screen protectors, but I'm glad I did because I always end up with micro scratches that drive me nuts on the screen. And I don't have that this year because the screen protector came in handy. Although I did drop my phone and break the screen protector, so I ordered a new one, but you know, it's never as durable as you think it is based on the marketing. So this year I took no chances. You know, one thing about this is the 5G. Now, even the iPhone SE has 5G this year. And it's nice that you can get 5G in such a cheap package. You can check out my recent review that I just put up on that. But the thing is, 5G hasn't really impacted my life in a significant way in these last 6 months. You know, it's spotty, the coverage. It's not everywhere yet. And I don't really notice when I'm on it and when I'm not, because I can game, I can stream, I can do whatever I do with 4G just about as well as with the 5G. You know, so for me, the 5G is like cool to have in theory. It just hasn't like moved the needle or been a life changer for me. But you know, it's an iPhone. It's a really great iPhone. And I made a whole video comparing iPhone and Android because, you know, everyone states the obvious stuff. I put in that video kind of the non-obvious stuff. So if you're interested in that, if you're trying to decide between the two, look it up, or I'll link it up for you down below too. But that's kind of it for this video. Hope you liked it, checking out the new colors. I do have a few announcements, all right? Number one, the podcast is coming back. It's gonna be back under a different name. It was the DailyTekk After Party, and then it was the Hey It's Chris podcast. We're gonna go with the DailyTekk podcast. It's more of what you've always loved. People really seem to like it. It's like hanging out with a friend, they tell me, and I wanted to bring it back, but also add some stuff. So it's old, it's new, so new episodes every Friday, including this Friday. So make sure to set your calendar, get yourself subscribed. And the other thing I just wanna let you know is to keep an eye on the Clips channel. Did you know we had a Clips channel? I haven't posted to it for a while, but we're gonna hit that in a big way too. Something like 700 to 1,500 clips per year are slated to be headed over there, including some exclusive content. Content you're not gonna find elsewhere. There's some exclusive stuff in the podcast that you're not gonna find anywhere else in video format either. So get yourself set up to check out the podcast and the Clips channel, and I've rambled long enough. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.